Okay, so we're going to talk about box plots. They are also called box and whisker plots. I don't know why. Well, I do know why that they're called box and whiskers, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But they're just know that they are the exact same thing, whether they say box plots or they say box and whiskers. Those are the exact same data representations. Okay, a dot plot displays a data distribution using 5 key numbers. So when I go to make a box plot, I need to come up with 5 values, not just, I'm just going to pick these numbers. There's 5 values that I have to take out of my data to be able to make a box plot. From there, it's a matter of drawing some lines. Okay? So those the difference between the first quartile and the third quartile, what was that called? Bailey? The IQR. What is the, that's the abbreviation. What's the big word for it? Phone a friend.
The interquartile range.
Very good. Interquartile range, also known as my IQR. All right. So those 5 values that we have to determine is the smallest piece of data, the median of the lower half, the median of the data, the median of the upper half, and the largest. So when we look at this, there's some words that we have to use. Instead of the smallest piece of data, we like to just use one word. What would be the smallest of something? What would be one word that we could use?
Lower.
Least. We've got lower. Let's go with the minimum. The minimum is the smallest piece of data that you will use. We might also refer to this as the lower extreme. The median of the upper half, what is that considered to be? We've already talked about that. Go for it. Do what? Quartile 1. Q1. That would be the median of my lower half. The median of the data, of course, is just the median, or what quartile? Quartile 2. What about the median of the upper half? Go for it. Quartile 3. And then if my smallest value is the minimum, what is the largest value?
Maximum.
Maximum. What's another word we could have used?
Upper.
Upper what?
Extreme.
Upper extreme. All right. So I can almost say with 110% accuracy that every one of you listening or sitting in my room right now could be able to identify the biggest value, the smallest value, and a middle number, right? Feel like every one of you. That's all box plots are. That's those 5 values. That's all you have to do. Find the middle of some numbers, find the biggest and the smallest, and then connect dots. So when I look at my little box plot that I have here, I myself, I'm a visual person, so I like to see my dots. So I'm going to put a dot each one of these. How many dots did I just put? How many? 5. Huh. Isn't that what it said here? 5 key numbers. 5 dots. Think that was a coincidence? I think not. Just my thoughts in this. Okay, so we said our minimum was the smallest piece. Right here? Yes?
Yes.
Then my maximum, of course, would be this one, right?
Yes.
This one would be my what? Q2, my quartile 2. What is this one?
Q3.
Q3, the middle of the smaller half. Go for it, Dylan. Go ahead. You can tell me. What is this one right here?
Quartile 1.
No. 3. Very good. All right. Yes, ma'am. Here?
Yeah, in the lower extremity and the
You said that one was
there.
Q.
You said that one was extreme.
This is Q1,
Yeah.
Q2. Oh, I must not have heard that. Q1, Q2, Q3. Yes? All right. All right, so let's look at some examples. I don't know why this keeps. All right. What is the very first thing that I need to do with a set of data before I can even think about finding my minimum, my maximum, my Q1, Q2, my median, all of that fun stuff? What's the first thing that I need to do?
Make a box plot.
Nope. Before I can even make some box plot, I can't even start looking at box plots until I do what with all of this lovely data?
Put in order.
Put them in order, right? Because I can't find the median of a set of data unless it is in order, correct? So we know we're going to have to do that. So let's put them suckers in order. 34, 45, 47, 48, 48, 49, 50. Double check to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. Can I identify my minimum and my maximum with this? No?
Yes.
I can't. Yeah, I got my minimum and my maximum. So I can at least get those two out of the way, correct?
Yes.
All right. Remember, we always talk about baby steps, right? Little baby steps. I may not be able to do all of it, but I know I can figure out the biggest and the smallest. All right. I can figure out my median. That's my middle number, right? So, bloop, bloop, bloop. Does everybody agree? I'm going to circle that middle number. What is my median?
48.
Okay. Does everybody agree? Yes? Okay. Now let's look at my quartile 1. I'm going to cover up my middle number and everything to the right of it. Now let's find what is my middle of these three.
45.
So that is quartile what? Okay. Cover up my median and everything to the left of it. And what is my quartile 3? 49. Perfect. Did I identify my 5 key numbers? Was any of that too hard? All right. Now comes the easy part. Can I identify on a number line where all these numbers are?
Yes.
Okay, let's make a dot where every one of these numbers are. I don't have to worry about anything else but making those dots. Everybody get their dots? All right. Which of your dots is your median? What was my median? 48. Find 48 and draw a line. Because remember, that's my middle. So far, so good?
Yes.
Draw a line on my Q1 and my Q3. And then we're going to make a box. Actually, I make 2 boxes. So far, so good? Now we're going to do our whiskers. Whoop and whoop. That's it. I now have a box and whisker or a box plot. Easy peasy? All right, I'm gonna give you a few minutes. I want you to do number 2. What's the first step that I need to do?
Put them in order.
Okay, do that right now. Give you just a little bit to do that. So it's on YouTube. If you're watching, I'm still here. I'm just letting you do the least to greatest. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just put them in order so that you can check yours. Maybe. I think Miss Meek took all my pencil there. Started off big, had to go small. Try to get it all fit in there. All right, so I can identify my minimum and my maximum. Everybody at least get that far? Okay, I'm gonna find my middle number. Bloop, 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 bloop. Circle my middle number. Identify my middle number. So far, so good? Cover up everything to the right. Bloop, bloop, and we get 9. Cover up everything to the left. Bloop, bloop. Is that what everybody got for their minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and maximum? Yes? Awesome. So now we need to go and put them on my number line. All right. Draw my boxes. Quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. Make my boxes and my whiskers. Yay, nay? All right. Box and whiskers is not all that scary, right? Not near as scary as y'all thought. All right, last question. Now, on question number 1 and 2, they gave you the set of data and you made the box and whisker plot. On number 3, they give you the box and whisker plot and they want you to identify the 5 values. So I'm gonna make my dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like my minimum is at 11. My maximum looks like about 18. My middle is 14. Q1, 12. Q3, 16. I'll ask you a couple of questions about box plots. Knowing now kind of what the box plots mean and what they look like, would I be able to find, talking about central tendencies, will I be able to find the median of my data? Looking at just the box plot,
Yes.
could I identify my median? Yes, okay. So would I be able to identify, looking at just the box plot, no data, just the box plot, would I be able to identify the number, would I be able to identify the mode, which is the number that occurs most often?
Yes.
Would I be able to do that?
No.
No, I don't know how often number 11 occurs. I don't know how often number 12 or 13 or 14, or even if that even falls in that data, correct? I don't know how often these numbers appear. I just know that the range is from 11 to 18. That's all I know, right? Okay, so I could not identify the mode. I can identify the median. Can I identify the mean of the set of data?
No.
No, because again, back to the same thing. I don't know my pieces of data. I just know how it is displayed, correct? What about the range of my data? Yes, I could identify the range of my data because I know my minimum and my maximum, correct? Okay, what would happen if I had a number way off over here? This is where my box plot is, but then I have a dot way over here. What would that be called? Go ahead.
Upper Street.
No, just way out over here. Go ahead. An outcast, but we used a different word instead of outcast. Miss Hellman?
Outlier.
Ah, y'all remember us calling outlier? I know. In your head, I can't read your mind. Outlier. If I say that, what? Okay, if I had a number that was way over here, what would it be called? Because it's what? Outside of the norm, right? Yes, no? All right. For numbers 1, 2, and 3, I want you to identify the IQR for each one of these. I was just about to do that. If you don't remember what IQR is, look up here in my little sentence. So my IQR is the difference between the first and the third quartile. The first and the third quartile. What would that one be in number 1? 4. What about number 2?
6.
The first and the third. My IQR would be 6. What about number 3? Quartile 3 minus quartile 1.
4.
Perfecto. Flip that sucker over and start working on the back.